Welcome friends to a new session on genetics. In this session, we will discuss extra chromosomal inheritance, chloroplast genetic system. Organellar genetics, cytoplasmic or extra chromosomal inheritance, part 2. Let us first see about chloroplast genetic system. Chloroplasts are organelles or specialized subunits in plant and algal cells. They were discovered inside the plant cells by Julius von Sachs, an influential botanist and author of Standard Botanical Textbook, the father of plant physiology. Their main role is to conduct photosynthesis, where the photosynthetic pigment chlorophyll captures the energy from sunlight and convert and stores it in the energy storage molecules ATP and NADPH. They then use the ATP and NADPH to make organic molecules from carbon dioxide in a process known as the Calvin cycle. Like mitochondria, chloroplasts contain their own DNA, which is thought to be inherited from their ancestor, a photosynthetic cyanobacterium that was engulfed by an early eukaryotic cell. Chloroplasts cannot be made by the plant cell and must be inherited by each daughter cell during cell division. Let us examine non-chromosomal genes in Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas, although the first non-Mendelian gene controlling streptomycin resistance was described by Ruth Sager, who discovered transmission of genetic traits through chloroplast DNA as early as 1954, but this location on chloroplast genome was known later. Several gene pairs located on chloroplast genome were reported, and a circular genetic map was proposed by Sager in 1972 in her book Cytoplasmic Genes and Organelles. Later, she presented further results and discussed methods used in the genetic analysis of these non-Mendelian genes. Now, let us examine about uniparental inheritance. In Chlamydomonas, which is a haploid organism, sexual reproduction is isogamous, both gametes being similar in morphology, thus having equal amount of cytoplasm. Despite this lack of difference in cytoplasmic content in Chlamydomonas, some characters are transferred from one parent, exhibiting what is called uniparental inheritance rather than maternal inheritance, because in Chlamydomonas we describe two sexes as two mating types, MT plus and MT minus, rather than as female and male. This figure shows uniparental inheritance in a haploid organism like Chlamydomonas, although cytoplasm is transmitted from both the gametes. One may notice that in diploids, the male gamete do not contribute cytoplasm. This figure shows maternal inheritance in a diploid organism, where cytoplasm is transmitted only through the egg. One may also distinguish between the patterns of inheritance between non-chromosomal genes. The inheritance patterns for chromosomal genes in haploid and diploid organisms are shown in these figures. The first figure shows segregation of nuclear genes in a haploid organism, and it is in 1:1 ratio. The second figure shows segregation of nuclear genes in a diploid organism, and it is in 1:2:1 ratio. Uniparental inheritance has also been demonstrated at the level of chloroplastic DNA due to the following facilities. 1. Chloroplastic DNA forms a separate distinct band on cesium chloride density gradient centrifugation. This figure shows cesium chloride density gradient centrifugation of Chlamydomonas DNA, showing chloroplastic DNA band distinct from nuclear DNA band. 2. The chloroplastic DNA of two parents can be differentially labeled with N14 and N15, the two giving Bond densities of 1.69 and 1.70 respectively. These differences look small, but they form separate bands on cesium chloride density gradient. It was shown that the Bond density of zygote always resembled that of empty plus female parent, and that chloroplastic DNA of empty minus parent is lost, inactivated or destroyed. Restriction enzyme patterns of chloroplastic DNA in zygote also resembled those of empty plus parent, suggesting uniparental transmission of chloroplastic DNA. Now, let us examine about segregation, independent assortment and gene mapping. In earlier years, that is before 1960, a large number of cases were non-chromosomal inheritance, as evident from uniparental or maternal inheritance, were described. However, further detailed study of these traits was not possible. There were two reasons for this. First, the mutant non-chromosomal genes could not be artificially produced when desired, and spontaneous mutations for these genes were rare, thus making their study difficult. Second, since these traits were transmitted from only one parent, standard techniques of genetic analysis could not be applied to study segregation and independent assortment as studied in chromosomal genes. Ruth Sager was successful in overcoming both these difficulties in Chlamydomonas and was thus able to study the non-chromosomal genes in this organism in some detail. Ruth Sager found that if streptomycin sensitive cells are grown in a medium containing streptomycin, several kinds of induced mutations in chloroplast, including streptomycin resistant mutations, were produced. Streptomycin resistance could be found on chromosomes also, where it may be inherited in a Mendelian manner, but in some strains this character showed uniparental inheritance as shown in this figure. It may be noticed that when the empty plus strain was streptomycin resistant, all the progeny was streptomycin resistant, and when it was sensitive, all the progeny was sensitive. Streptomycin was used for inducing not only resistance to streptomycin, but also to induce mutations for several other non-chromosomal traits, thus making it possible to study their inheritance. The second difficulty of getting the transmission of non-chromosomal genes from only one parent was overcome when it was observed by Ruth Sager that in very rare cases, streptomycin resistance and streptomycin sensitivity from parents of mating types MT plus and MT minus could be transmitted. It was found that when streptomycin dependent strain, in short called SD, which will not survive without streptomycin, was used as MT plus strain, and progeny grown in a medium containing streptomycin, only SD strains will be produced, and this is seen in this figure. However, if the same progeny is grown in a medium lacking streptomycin, then biparental exceptional zygotes will grow, because the uniparental SD strains will not survive in the absence of streptomycin, and this is clearly shown in this figure. Similarly, in the reciprocal cross using SS, that is streptomycin sensitive, as the mating type MT plus and SD as MT minus, only SS strains will be available in the absence of streptomycin, showing uniparental inheritance, and this is very clear in this figure. But if the progeny is grown in the presence of streptomycin, then biparental zygotes will be produced, and this you can see in this figure. Later, it was discovered that if MT plus parent is irradiated with ultraviolet irradiation prior to mating, frequency of biparental zygotes will greatly increase. In this manner, techniques for obtaining exceptional biparental zygotes could be standardized. As shown above, Ruth Sager could overcome the two difficulties for genetic analysis of chloroplast genes. After having achieved this, Sager and her co-workers made crosses between strains carrying contrasting characters controlled by non-chromosomal genes. The empty plus parent carried AC1, that is acetate requiring mutant, and SD, streptomycin dependence, and empty minus parent carried AC2 and SR, the other alleles of the same genes AC1 and SD. The parents also differed in two other nuclear genes, empty plus carrying nuclear genes ACTR, that is antibiotic acidion resistance, and MSR, that is resistance to methionine sulfoxamine, and the empty minus strain carrying nuclear genes ACTS, that is actidion sensitive, and MSS, sensitive to methionine sulfoxamine. The nuclear genes which were not linked were used as markers to ensure that zygotes were produced and segregation for them was according to expectation. It was found that 99% progeny, those segregated for nuclear genes ACTR, ACTS, MSR, MSS, and MT plus, MT minus, but they all showed maternal or uniparental transmission of AC1 and SD. 1% exceptional biparental zygotes were obtained, which were selected, and their behavior in future generations was studied to explain the pattern of inheritance of non-chromosomal genes. The details of the results are shown in this figure. It was shown that during meiosis, the nuclear genes segregated, but non-chromosomal genes did not segregate immediately and segregated slowly in the following generations. The following conclusions were made on the basis of the results shown in the figure. 1. The non-chromosomal or chloroplast genes segregate like nuclear genes in 1:1 ratio in mitotic divisions, so that AC and AC2 as well as SD and SR behaved as alleles. 2. The AC1, AC2 and SD, SR gene pairs segregate independently of each other in both time and space, giving rise to parental combinations AC1 SD and AC2 SR, as well as the recombinants AC1 SR and AC2 SD. 3. Even wild type or new cytoplasmic alleles arose, which are designated as AC plus, AC prime, SS, SD prime and SR prime. Several other non-chromosomal genes were studied using the above and other techniques. Some of these genes include the following. 1. AC, that is acetate requiring mutant with a reduced ability to grow and giving small flat colonies. 2. SM2, that is streptomycin resistance. There is another gene SD which confers streptomycin dependence, so that the organism is not only resistant but is dependent and cannot grow without the drug. 3. Erythromycin resistance. 4. SPC, spectinomycin resistance. 5. TM1, that is temperature sensitive, which grows only at 25 degrees centigrade and not at 35 degrees centigrade. Now let us examine in detail about chloroplast genetics in higher plants. We know that chloroplast of lower eukaryotes and higher plants like siamase contain DNA. Chloroplast genomes are relatively large, usually ranging from 120 kilobase to 210 kilobase pair, except in Acetabularia, where it is 400 kilobase pair. This is comparable to the size of a large bacteriophage like T4, where it is 110 kb. Each cell may have several chloroplasts, and each chloroplast may have several circular DNA molecules, so that the chloroplast DNA, in short we call it as cpDNA, may make up to 14% of cellular DNA in lower eukaryotes. In higher eukaryotes, however, the chloroplastic DNA makes a small proportion of total DNA in the cell. These features of chloroplast DNA are presented in this table. There is evidence that genes controlling specific traits or those controlling the synthesis of specific molecules of RNA and protein are found on the chloroplast DNA. The presence of these genes could be shown by a technique called restriction fragment analysis or restriction site mapping. In this technique, using specific enzymes, the endonucleases, which is also called restriction enzymes, can cut DNA into fragments. Each enzyme will cut the DNA into definite number of segments of definite sizes, and the different enzymes differ in their effect. Using different restriction enzymes and through an analysis of fragments produced, sites could be mapped on chloroplast genome. The mapping of specific genes was also facilitated by hybridization of restriction fragments with RNA transcripts produced in the cell and suspected to have originated on chloroplast genome. In this manner, small and large rRNA, that is ribosomal RNA, could be shown to be synthesized by specific genes on chloroplast DNA. In maize, the sequence of rRNA gene is shown to be duplicated. Similarly, genes for tRNA, transfer RNA, have also been mapped. These genes on chloroplastic DNA synthesize not only rRNA and tRNA, but also some proteins through the synthesis of mRNA. Ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase, in short called as Rubisco, is one such important enzyme which is abundant in green leaves. Each molecule of this enzyme has 16 polypeptides, 8 small and 8 large. Although small subunit is synthesized through nuclear genes, the bigger is under the control of chloroplastic DNA. The map of maize chloroplast genome known at present is shown in this figure. It shows the positions of duplicate inverted region of rRNA genes and also RUBP, that is ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase gene. Let us make a comparison of chloroplast genome and prokaryotes. A detailed study of chloroplast genome in eukaryotes has revealed that the chloroplast genomes share both prokaryotic and eukaryotic features. Therefore, the view that they are the remnants of entrapped prokaryotic genomes is an oversimplification. Some of the features in which chloroplasts resemble the prokaryotes and those in which they differ are as follows. A. Similarities between chloroplast and prokaryotes. The ribosomes are 70s in size in both the cases. 2. The rRNA genes as well as several tRNA genes have very high degree of homology as revealed by sequence homology. 3. Preceding the initiation codon AUG in chloroplast, there are present ribosome binding sites and the sequences which bear strong resemblance to Pribnow box of bacteria. 4. There is sequence overlapping between some genes in chloroplast, a feature known in prokaryotes. In chloroplast, it cannot be due to economy since non-coding sequences are also available in chloroplast. 5. There is a resemblance between RNA polymerases of chloroplast and prokaryotes. For instance, in Chlamydomonas reinhardti, the enzyme is sensitive to rifampicin and contains a sigma-like polypeptide. There is also evidence of homology between P and P prime subunits of Escherichia coli RNA polymerase and those of Chlamydomonas reinhardti chloroplast RNA polymerase. 6. Protein synthesis in chloroplast can be inhibited by chloramphenicol as in bacteria, since only 70s ribosomes are sensitive to this drug. Cyclohexamide does not inhibit protein synthesis in chloroplast as it does in the cytoplasm of eukaryotes. 7. Initiation of protein synthesis takes place by formyl methionine tRNA both in chloroplast and prokaryotes. Coming to B, that is the differences between chloroplast and prokaryotic genomes. The first one is, in chloroplast there are split genes. Example 1, rRNA genes and protein genes in chloroplast of Chlamydomonas reinhardti. 2, protein genes in chloroplast of Euglena, and 3, tRNA genes of several chloroplast of higher organisms. The introns of these split genes fall in 3 groups and differ from those in nuclear genes of eukaryotes. The second one is, chloroplast DNA sequences have the ability to promote autonomous replication. This feature is absent in prokaryotes. 3, presence of short repetitive elements interspersed throughout several but not all chloroplast genomes is also a eukaryotic feature. Let us summarize the following discussion on chloroplast genetics. Chloroplasts are organelles or specialized subunits in plant and algal cells. Like mitochondria, chloroplasts contain their own DNA, which is thought to be inherited from their ancestor, a photosynthetic cyanobacterium that was engulfed by an early eukaryotic cell. Several gene pairs located on chloroplast genome were reported, and a circular genetic map was proposed by Sager in 1972. Ruth Sager discovered transmission of genetic traits through chloroplast DNA using Chlamydomonas. She used various methods in the genetic analysis of these non-Mendelian genes. They are uniparental inheritance and segregation, independent assortment, and gene mapping. The genes controlling specific traits or those controlling the synthesis of specific molecules of RNA and protein are found on the chloroplast DNA. The presence of these genes could be shown by a technique called restriction fragment analysis or restriction site mapping. Now, let me give you some assignments based on the discussions what we had till now. 1. Discuss the study of non-chromosomal genes. 2. Discuss briefly the techniques of mapping of chloroplast. 3. What are the difficulties initially faced by Ruth Sager in the study of non-chromosomal genes? 4. Giving examples. Discuss the evidences suggesting the role of chloroplast in cytoplasmic inheritance. 5. How could it be demonstrated that the non-chromosomal or chloroplast genes segregate like nuclear genes in 1:1 ratio? I am giving you certain references for your further reading. The first one is a book entitled Cell and Molecular Biology, authored by D. Robertis and Robertis in the year 1991. It is published by Leah and Febiger from Washington. The second book is entitled Genetics and the Origin of Species, authored by Dobzhansky in the year 1961, published from Columbia University Press, New York. The third book is entitled Principles of Genetics, and it is authored by Gardner and Nestad in the year 1984 and published by John Wiley, New York. A fourth book is titled Genes and authored by Levin in 1994, published by Oxford University Press, London. A fifth book is titled Polyploidy, authored by Lewis in the year 1980, published by Plenum Press, New York. A sixth book is entitled Chromosome Technique, Theory and Practice, written by Sharma and Sharma in the year 1980, published by Aditya Books, New Delhi. A seventh reference book is titled Principles of Genetics, authored by Sinnett, Dunn and Dobzhansky in the year 1958, published by McGraw-Hill, New York. I am also giving you certain websites for your further reference. The first one is www.genetics.org. A second one is www.theagricos.gov. Now we have come to the end of this session. We will meet in another session with a new topic. Till then, bye.